Insights with Terri Ep.97 a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.97. Here's Terri.
Hi everybody, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.97. Thank you for joining me this week of November the 14th through the 20th, 2022. Well, we're past that blood moon. That doesn't mean we still don't have some of the effect of it, but we're still standing. It's important for me to bring to your attention, I'll do it again a little bit later, that eclipses, which is what we just experienced with that blood moon, don't make things happen. An eclipse does not make things happen, but it can allow for things to maybe float to the surface. So it opens things up for us to have the opportunity of addressing it and working through whatever issues seem to be a pattern that keep floating to the surface of our lives. So that's basically what they're there to do and help us through. Now, the sun sign is still in Scorpio, and that's a water sign. It's a very powerful energy field. Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, that is still in Scorpio. Now, on the 18th of this week, it will change to Sagittarius. That's a big change. So we may feel that towards the middle of the week as things start to change. Our attitude, our energy fields will change a little bit later. And Venus, the planet of love and beauty and attraction, is still in Scorpio as I'm speaking to you right now. But on the 17th, that as well changes to Sagittarius, which is a lighter energy field. So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll start to feel a little bit lighter. Having so much of that Scorpio energy, when I say can become oppressive, it's heavy. It's a very heavy, transformational type of energy field that pushes us, weighs us down sometimes to maybe look at things that aren't so pleasant in our life, things that we want to kick under the carpet, like the dog hair, so we don't see it. But it's still there, so it doesn't allow us to do that. And then that Sagittarius energy that we'll be working into towards the end of the week lightens things up, a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more willing to say, you know what, it looks bad, but it's not as bad as it does, so that we can find what's important, powerful, and positive in the situations that we're dealing with. So that's a brighter note to it. But that Scorpio energy had a lot to offer us as far as lessons and challenges and pushing through some very, very difficult situations that many people are in right now. Don't feel alone. You're not. And then Mars, the planet of drive and passion, that fire planet, is still in Gemini, going retrograde. We have a lot of retrograde planets around us and have had. That's going back in time so that we can re-identify things, go through things again to see if we can figure things out. So this retrograde in Mars can take away some of your energy in that, rather than moving forward, we want to just maybe stop for a minute. So maybe balance that if you can. You'll have a burst of energy when Sagittarius offers a new adventure to you or want to get out in the car and maybe move around. And then Mars is going to say, no, let's just stay home. So we can try to balance it a little bit if you'd like to. So you have little bursts of energy, little bursts of lazy, little bursts of energy, little bursts of lazy. So we'll have to deal with that, whether we like it or not, and then just try to get it to manage for yourself. So maybe you can take, for example, a burst of energy, could get you to get through the dishes, get you to wash the floor, get the dogs outside, clean the bird cage, blah, blah, and then boof, nothing. All right, I think I'll make a coffee, and I'm going to do an hour and a half of book work. So you sit, you recharge, you're doing your book work, you're having your coffee, you're enjoying it, maybe the music's on, make it pleasant. And then bang, back to what you need to do to have your energy going. And this goes at work too. You'll have bursts of energy if you can, when you recognize that there's a burst coming or that a burst has landed on you. Maybe that would be the time to do the heavy lifting and then manage the fatigue time to do other things. Now, everybody's different. I find that when I'm fatigued, exercise helps me. So if I feel like, oh my God, I would kill to have a nap, please let me have a nap, that's when I'll grab the leashes of the dogs and take off and go for a walk. They have to be exercised anyway, might as well do it. And then I come back and the cobwebs are gone and you're feeling a little bit more energy and you feel like you can attack something else. The beginning of this week, we really have to pay attention, especially if you're vulnerable in this area, to the head. So we don't want any migraines, but pay attention to the head. And any heart issues, if you have it in your family, this is the time to look at it. If you have any issues yourself, the aorta, your blood pressure, your blood circulation, all heart rate, all of that is going to be vulnerable for the first part of this week. Now, I have physical checkups with my heart by my doctor every year. I don't know why he does it. He must worry about me. So every year I have to have a cardiac thing. What a perfect week for that, because of this heart involved energy field. So these are going to pair really nicely. I did not ask for this. This is a gift from the universe. So awesome. Take it and run. And then the middle of the week, we'll be looking more, if you're vulnerable, at your pancreas, your small intestine, your digestive tract, the colon. So if you're sensitive in any of those areas, it could give you grief. If you're not, you could give grief to your body. So pay attention. This would not be the week that I would indulge in high fat. I would look at my food choices, because your body can only work with so much at this time. So given that, I try not to put too much pressure on weak body parts. So pay attention to what you're choosing to eat. Yes, food is comfort, but it can also be very uncomfortable if we choose the incorrect thing. So you've got that towards the middle of the week. Then towards the very end of the week, the beginning of next, we should be looking at kidneys, your urethra, urinary maybe incontinence, your bladder, also tying in with the pancreas. We may be a little bit more vulnerable in how our body uses insulin. So if you're diabetic, this would be a challenge for our body. So just be careful. Again, back to what you choose to eat. The exercise that you get can maybe balance that a little bit and help you out. Just pay attention to your body this week. Your body's trying to talk to you. Listen, it has very good things to say to you. So try to listen if you can. Now, the eclipse, going back to that, we're going to feel the effects of that eclipse. It's usually you feel the eclipse energy for about a month-ish. We are destined for a new moon on the 23rd of November. It's not that far away the way time's flying. And a new moon is everything new. It's a good way to separate from all of the issues that we've had to work through in the last little bit. So it's a great time to just separate from that. And to be able to focus, if we can, on grounding. Can you find your center? Where is your center? If you meditate, now some people can sit there and think about a grape for 20 minutes, half an hour. Good for you. I'm so jealous. But you can take your meditation to a meditative walk, or you can sit and listen to a song and in a quiet environment, just still listen to all the notes, listen to the nuances in the song, be present in that moment. That's a meditation. Maybe looking at your candle in the bathtub. To just look at the different colors of the flame. You're basically giving your mind a break from the 90 miles an hour with its hair on fire, thinking of nonsense, thinking of things that don't need to be thought about right now. And then you learn how to, if you have a problem and you have to solve it, how to take your mind and make it behave. Focus on this problem. Kind of like getting a dog to not be distracted. Some of you use affirmations. That's not a bad thing. Think of a saying or a phrase that helps you. For me, I wouldn't even call it an affirmation. It's a soothing thing. Being that I live alone, and things happen when you live alone at times and you'll have somebody to rely on, I may say to myself, this isn't a problem. This is not a problem. This is not a problem. Yes, it's a very big problem, but I'm lying to myself. So it's a way of me calming myself down, kind of like a cat purring. They calm themselves down. So it's a tool. But think of an affirmation, maybe that you find something in your life. I may say, oh, I love my dogs. They're so sweet. They're so comforting. It's so much fun. So I'll think of a phrase, I love dogs, or anything that makes you feel comfortable. Find an affirmation. If you want cheat, go to Google, ask for affirmations. They'll give you great ones. What I want you to remember, if you can, is we are nothing but souls, really. We have a physical body, but the whole point is that we're just a soul. And we've come here as a soul, given a physical body, to experience, to explore, to stretch, to feel what it feels like to be human. And sometimes we get all caught up in things that maybe in the long run, 100 years from now, don't matter. And my grandmother used to say that to me. Terri, is this going to matter in 100 years from now? And very, very little did. There was very little that would matter. Maybe the tree I planted, but very little. Maybe the house I built. But 100 years from now, it'll be falling down. It won't be that new, shiny, nice house that I love. It'll just be an old house. So in 100 years from now, what does it matter? But our soul will go on. So I want you, if you can, to think of what you're experiencing right now, what you experience your life as an adventure. To find out what feels in your life. What does it feel like, as I said, to be human, or to feel pain, or to be compassionate, or to look at somebody else's pain? What does it feel like to be human? I think we're losing, I don't mean individually, but if you look at it collectively, I think we're losing our humanity. How I can't comprehend how Putin can do the things that he's done to people. I can't comprehend so many things. So we need to get back to being human if we can. This is a time that we are supposed to look at what our strengths are, what our power is. What is our wisdom, each individual person? What is that? And are we wise, and are we using it well? So we have to remember, as I said, that eclipses don't cause things. They bring stuff to the surface, things that we need to address. And there's been a lot of crap floating around because poop floats. So there's been a lot of that floating around. We need to address it. You don't want to swim around in it anymore. You want to address it. So this week, not a whole lot of events are happening as far as the changes go. Yes, Sagittarius is coming, but what it's supposed to do is give us a bit of a breather if we want to take it, and let the dust settle before the new moon comes so we know how we want to start this next journey. Now, Mars is retrograde, and Mars is that fire planet, that passion planet. So it will bring our ego to the front. So if a person is narcissistic, that's going to really shine. It'll shine a light on your fears. What are your fears? Because many people react and act out just because they're scared. I see that in the animals all the time. Dogs that bite, they're biting because they're scared, they're uncertain, they're confused. They don't know what's expected of them, and we've been unclear with them, so we've wrecked them. So our fears and our ego need to be separated here. We need to look with this Mars retrograde at what is your insecurity. Look at it. It's going to keep popping up. And what do you want to replace that insecurity once you've identified it with? Consciously. So if I see a fear, what do I want? The universe doesn't like holes. What do I want to put in that hole? What do I want to replace that with? And I want to do it consciously. Now, Mars and Neptune are both retrograde. So that can cause illusion and confusion. So we can be very confused in the next little bit as to what's going on. Why is this all happening? I feel like I'm the queen of confusion right now. What is all of this? How can we treat each other this way? How come so many people are angry and short? Even the dogs are upset. So what's going on? And it can contribute as well to indecisiveness. So we may need not to take action this week as much as we need to just look at it. And just, as I said, let the dust just settle if we can. Now, the number that was given to us this week is the number 4. And when you pair it with the way the cosmos is right now, number 4 is successful at what we do. So you can thank that success to perseverance and to systematic work. When I train the dogs, it's very systematic. It's just not going out there and sit down, stay. I have a goal. I know where I want this dog to be eventually. I know what this dog is capable of. I know where I want to land with this dog. So it's systematic. It's a systematic. I even write it all down. I got big worksheets. There's a systematic approach to this. It's not just willy-nilly. And we need to be consistent with the number 4. Consistency in how we train our dogs, how we train our people. And order. Consistency and order. We are supposed to be trying to get that involved in our life right now. Number 4 will guarantee us that we will achieve success later on by working hard now, but not non-productive working hard. People can go out there and throw the ball for the dog like a maniac. And what do they get? They're just practicing running. The dog's practicing being a maniac. The dog doesn't bring the ball back to them. He's running all over while they're chasing it, calling them. The dog doesn't come, so they're practicing the dog to run. The dog knows how to run. They're getting the dog more equipped to endurance, more energy, and they're getting the dog to realize it doesn't have to come when it's called. And I don't have to give you anything, and so I'm a resource guarder. Wow, that was productive. So, to achieve success, we have to work hard, but we have to work hard sensibly with a goal in mind. Patience is going to be very important here. With Mars going retrograde, our frustration level will be high and our patience will be thin. We have to be aware of that, both within ourselves and other people. So we have to be patient with them too. Number 4 does not like changes, and it doesn't like monotony either, or a monotonous life. So we have to look at that, especially with that Gemini in Mars right now. What can you do to spice up your life? Add some music. Do the vacuuming. Add some music. If you're going to be working on the car, put some music on, those good tunes. It really changes the energy. And it's a physically strong number. 4 poster bed, 4 corners to your house. So this is a really powerful, stable number that they're giving us with some of these transformation energies to help stabilize us. I mean, the universe really knows what it's doing. Good for you, universe. So don't be afraid to use that if you can to your advantage in the next little bit. The weakness of number 4 can be carelessness. Be careful of that. We don't want to fall. We don't want to trip. Or having a very narrow view of life. That's a weakness of number 4. So we have to be careful when we're making decisions during this time that we're not narrow and we're not closed-minded and we're not tunnel vision. And we need to experience what not to turn inward, be it pain, be it suffering, be it ill will. Don't turn that inside, because that will affect the nervous system, and that comes out in all kinds of different negative energy ways. So you have a lot to work on this week, kids. I think you're going to do well. I really appreciate your time to share with me the most precious commodity anybody has. I want to take a moment to thank Charlie O'Brien. Charlie works diligently on getting these podcasts up on Spotify and Apple iTunes and Amazon Music, SoundCloud, and now YouTube. He gives me the link and I can give that to you. You can find that on Facebook, or go to the website www.terriworld.com if you want to listen to any of the archived podcasts that Charlie has kindly put up for your listening enjoyment, I hope. If you would like a reading for yourself so I can personalize it for you, you can contact me by texting or calling 519-726-6699, or you can email me at Terri, Terri.Coots, COUTTS@gmail.com. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I really and sincerely do. And Charlie, I appreciate you. All of you have a wonderful week. God willing, we'll talk next week. Bye for now.
You've been listening to Insights with Terri Coots, and visit her website, terriworld.com, TERRI world.com. And we'll catch you next time